Why did I have low self-esteem? Where did it start from? What was the root cause? What was feeding the inferiority that I faced? Growing up, I was more of a plump baby. Some persons would say chubby, but my family adored me, and because I was so chubby and cute to them, they gave me a particular nickname. And some persons would know this as alias name. As well, I will not say this particular name. I will not even get into it. But you know how parents can give their children the weirdest alias name? Some persons thinking it's the cutest. That was my family. They adored me, of course. Now this name grew with me, and as I grew older, I became more self-aware, and I realized I did not like the name at all. I did not want to be identified by the name, by this particular name. Persons in my surroundings, in my community, they also were aware of this particular alias or nickname, and I was also called this particular name by those persons who were not my family. I hated the name so badly. I would stop answering to this name. I ignored anyone who called me by that name. I wonder if them remember. From early, I hated the name, and so my daddy recognized this, that I hated it from early. So he made sure to tell everyone not to call me by that name. And my daddy gave me a different nickname, a different alias. And to me, it was the cutest. I loved it. And I liked it. And until this day, he still calls me by that particular name. And I still answer. And I still won't share that name. Now, in primary school, that's a different case. I was still not a slim child. But I was healthy, meaning I was not overweight. I was bigger than some of my peers. In terms of in body, I was bigger than some of them. I remember around age 6 or so, an adult asked me, "Why aren't you as slim as your best friend?" And told me that is how you should look. You should look more like your bestie. From that day, trust me, I became even more conscious about my appearance, but not in a positive way now. I remember hearing those words repeated in my head. Those words broke my heart. Now, before we go any further into that story, let us look at low self-esteem like a tree. Sometimes low self-esteem starts really small, like a tiny seed planted, and if you water it and nurture that seed enough, the seed of negativity, it will take time to grow and spread. If it's not disrupted, then it will have just enough time until its roots become stronger. It will begin to get enough nutrients from the soil that it's planted in, and that soil is your mind. It will become stronger until it is able to bear fruits. Fruits of negativity, fruits of doubt, fruits of bitterness. I know persons can identify with this. Fruits of comparison, fruits of anger, fruits of why me, fruits of self-pity, fruits of you're just not good enough. This is like a domino effect, like a ripple effect starts and everything just go downhill. Before you know it, you may begin to share this particular fruit of negativity. And for some people, they will put their insecurities on you, always finding a fault with another person, always being mean to others. And some persons, if they're not strong enough, will bite into the fruit. Yes, they will bite into it and take unto themselves the seed of negativity and low self-esteem. For me, I picked that fruit. and I took unto myself the seeds of negativity. Words are powerful enough to plant seeds, powerful to tear you down, and powerful enough to build you up. You may have the choice, yes, to choose what words you will embrace and what words you will not embrace. But remember, words are like seeds, so even in your subconscious, they may have already been planted. So it's up to you now. Know if you will water it or if you will uproot that seed of negativity. I developed low self-esteem because of that particular adult, the seed that person planted in my life. It was nurtured every time I played those words in my head. It was watered every time someone decided they would make a negative joke about me. Some persons genuinely don't mean anything bad by it. They're just joking. To them, they're just joking. I thank God for the hugs, the kisses, and reassurance I received from my mother as well. And as I entered high school, I grew really slim. And to me, I was like, yes, this is it finally. So I was no longer a chubby child. And this happened naturally as my body began to change as a teen. I didn't realize that a seed of negativity was planted in my earlier years. So even though I looked different from when I was in primary school, I still had to deal with low self-esteem. Yes, as I had already nurtured that tree and it was now big in my life. As I grew, I didn't feel I was the worst, nor did I hate myself at that point in time, but I did not address the issues I had bottled up in me in my earlier years. How I overcame low self-esteem, now that's another story. Let's look at it as a tree again before we go into the other part of it. Now, if you chop off the tree, right? Chop off the branches of a tree, its roots are still intact, don't it? Yes. Then the branches will spring back because the roots they're still intact. They're still in a place where they're being nurtured. We must now uproot the entire tree. If it has been there for years, it's not going to be the easiest to uproot. We must destroy low self-esteem from the root. I was tired of the way this made me feel. I needed it to go, so I eventually decided to get rid of low self-esteem and to embrace my beauty. I realized that you cannot only focus on your emotions, but if it is that you're going to get over low self-esteem, you must find a strategy and attack it head on. For me, the process of overcoming low self-esteem it began when I started reading my Bible. Yes. For other persons, their healing may have come about in a different fashion, and for some persons they're still on their journey of overcoming, and I'm rooting for you. Keep it up. Keep up the good work. Keep going. You'll get there one day. I began to discover something I never thought would have existed in a Bible. I saw promises that I took unto myself as they spoke to me. I was like, wow, the way in which these words are coined, who knew I needed to hear this? Words like, I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Words like, before I formed you, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. Another one that stood out to me was, the Lord will perfect all that concerns me. And until this day, this is one of my favorite. I would write out these words and I would say them over and over. And to this day, I still write out Bible verses and I say them over and over. I also write words of affirmation, which are positive. Sometimes I write out positive quotes about I speak them over myself, or I will write out scriptures on my mirrors and I say them whenever I walk past the mirror. I mentioned this in previous videos. I would also speak out, speak aloud to myself and say, you are going to be great. You are going to be a blessing to others. You are beautiful inside and out. I was now restructuring my mind. I was now planting new seeds, and I watered them every time I spoke something positive about myself. As these seeds grew, I nurtured the roots. Every time I believed these positive words, I spoke over myself. Healing began to take place. I began to see myself differently. And the low self-esteem tree, it began to die. I destroyed that tree. It began to fall because I was now destroying it from the root. If you find that you struggle with low self-esteem issues, then take note. People may develop insecurities or low self-esteem due to different circumstances, and some may even have to receive professional help, professional counseling. But remember, there can never be another person like you. Another point to add, never jokingly call children names. In some culture, it's the norm to jokingly say, what a picnic ugly in Jamaica, what a child ugly. Or what a boy head big head boy. And some persons jokingly do it and they genuinely don't mean anything by it. For some people, they don't mean any harm by it. It's just a joke to them. But remember, what is joke to you can be of hurt to someone else. Don't be the one to sow a negative seed in someone's life. I found myself refusing to accept any negative words about myself or about anyone from anybody. I would openly say politely, no, I am not that. No, I will not accept what you just said about me. Even when they said they were joking. And I don't usually like confrontations, but I found the strength to say these things in a polite way. I was never oversensitive, but I understand the power of words. Now children, they process things differently. They process things different from the way adults do. And if they understand what you are saying, it may hurt them. Remember, always stand up for your child. Don't be afraid to tell someone that you do not like when they call your child a certain name, even if they are joking. I found myself protecting other children from things like this. And I can tell you, my friends can tell you they got annoyed sometimes when I would say, no, don't call me that, or don't call the child that. Some persons develop these issues later on in life, low self-esteem. As simple as it sounds, we all need to remember, no matter how good someone else is, there is only one you. And that is why you are so special. It's true. No matter where you look, you will never find another person that is exactly like you. You are unique. We are all beautiful and in our own way, and we should embrace it. We may never see our beauty until we embrace ourselves. So I just want to encourage somebody today. If it is that you are struggling with low self-esteem, if it is that you are still on the verge of overcoming low self-esteem, I just want to encourage you to keep sweet, to speak positive things over yourself, reassure yourself. Don't let other person's beauty or what they consider to be beauty define you. Don't let it define who you are. You are your own beauty. You define beauty. You define beauty because beauty lies within you. There are a wide variety of what beauty looks like. It doesn't look one way. And so remember that you are uniquely you, and there could never be another person like you. Learn to embrace each other's differences. Celebrate your friends, celebrate your family, celebrate a stranger that you don't know. Root for people. Don't be too quick to say negative things about somebody, or if it is that you don't like a particular thing, meaning you may not like how a person wear their hair or how the person look to you, that's okay, because each person is unique and they should strive to be unique. They should embrace their own differences, and you should as well. It's not for you, but it's for them. So that particular look may not be for you, but it suits them just fine. Compliment them, man. Always remember to be careful of how you choose your words. Choose them wisely. Be wise, be smart, be deliberate in the things you say. Plant positive seeds in somebody else's life. Sow positive seeds and you will reap positive seeds. Whatever you give, it will come back to you. Be beautiful, be cheerful, because you will reap that in which you plant in another person's life. I just want to assure, or I just want to encourage a person out there who is suffering from low self-esteem. Remember, you are a victor. You are never a victim. That is something I always tell myself. I am a victor. You will get over this. You will overcome. I just want to encourage you today. Keep sweet, live, love, and just celebrate you, as I mentioned earlier. Tell yourself the good things then, just as how you would tell another person. Just as how you would love on another person, love on yourself. You compliment people all the time, don't it? Compliment yourself. Just as how you use your eyes to see the beauty in somebody else, use that beauty, your eyes, to look and see the beauty in yourself. Look in the mirror, build yourself, because it is only when you begin to build yourself, then others will embrace that beauty. They will be able to see, because if you have low self-esteem, or if you have insecurity, then that beauty that should radiate within or radiate outward, you're going to hide it. You're going to hide that beauty, and others will not be able to partake in that beauty. They will not be able to see that beauty and embrace that beauty. So as I said before, if you are struggling, you will get over it. Begin to find your strategy and let it work for you. Begin to look into yourself and to say, you know, I am beautiful. Whatever it is that other persons may say about me, that's not true. They may not be able to see what I see. And I'm going to continue to see that beauty, and I'm going to shine and let my beauty shine until they begin to see it, until it reaches them. And I might add, sometimes when persons say negative things about you, other than the persons that are joking, sometimes it is because they themselves are struggling within, and they are trying to find ways to cope or to feel good about themselves. And so they will portray something negative on you. They will bring off this negative energy and say mean things to you, not because they truly see something bad in you, but because of how they are feeling internally. So remember these things. Remember what I said, remember these things clearly. So for me, it was never a case of giving persons that negative vibe or energy or saying mean things to persons. I would be more on the reserved side as a child. If I had an opinion, I would keep it to myself. I wouldn't want to share that opinion, because I didn't want to be seen. I wanted to be the child that is not seen. When I was younger, that was how I saw myself, because of what the person would have said, and it played over and over. And sometimes other persons would have said things jokingly, but because of what that adult said, and it was planted in your mind, when other person said something, you played on it and you embraced it, and you said yes, because that previous adult said this to me. I did not know that I was beautiful or I was pretty at that time. I didn't understand as a child. And that when I didn't understand, but at the same time, they should have never compared me. I'm over that now. I'm over that now. So I'm just encouraging someone that even if somebody is comparing you, and if they're saying negative things about you, do not embrace it. Do not embrace it. Learn to find your beauty. Well, your beauty is within, and it's also outward. It's also within and it's outward as well. You are beautiful inside and you are beautiful outside. So embrace who you are. Embrace who you are, and just keep sweet. And until next time, we will meet same place under the mango tree. Bye.